Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and do a quick Love After Lockup review. This was the season finale of season 2, and it picked up where we left off at. And I'm going to go through this quickly, this review, because I mostly want to talk about Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Something really interesting happened. It's probably what other people predicted if you've been following up on it, but I really want to talk about this interaction specifically. Hey guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who subscribed to me on Patreon and who continue to support via Patreon. If you want to become a patron and support, you can click the link in the description box and become a patron to support the channel. You can also support via PayPal or through Cash App, and the links to those will be there as well. If you choose to support via Patreon, you will get access to exclusive live streams, exclusive contents, and any other content that I put there that is not on YouTube. And again, thanks and a big shout out to everyone who already subscribed. Now, I'm not going to acknowledge Clint and Tracy's situation. I told you guys I don't watch them. I fast forward past them. So we'll move on to Brittany and Marcelino. Brittany and Marcelino were getting ready to go to court so that Brittany can see about getting her custody of her son back, which she did. They had an attorney who advised them not to worry about the fight between Marcelino and Tito, who is Brittany's son's father. Ultimately, they went into court and she got 60% custody, whereas he got 40. So she was very happy about what she got. I'm trying to figure out why she's not trying to go get her other children, because she stated that she had lost her other children due to her drug addictions and being in and out of prison. So my question is, why isn't she going to go get her other children? That's really interesting, especially considering she lost her rights to them, just as she lost her rights to her little boy, but she was able to get them back. But also, Brittany is trying to hold down her friend Sasha, so she went and wrote a poster because she can't visit her in jail as a felon. For people who have been keeping up, Sasha got at least 10 years in prison. That was her at her sentencing hearing. And because Brittany is a felon, she's not allowed to go visit Sasha in prison. So she stood outside of where her cell was. And because she's familiar with the cell blocks, that should tell you how long she's been in prison and how often. Because she's familiar with it, she had her and her son decorate a poster that said, "Will you be my godmother?" I think what Brittany is doing is actually very good. It's very nice that she's holding her friend down like that. Let's see if she continues though. Lizzy and Scott. So basically, Scott told Lizzy that he was on drugs. Everybody can see that. That's probably why he has no teeth in his mouth. Lizzy says she's not tolerating it because she can't be around drug addicts. She'll go back to prison. So basically, Lizzy says she's done with Scott and he needs to go on about his day. She doesn't want to be with him. Scott throws a tantrum. I was literally the whole time wondering if the last two teeth that he had in his mouth was going to run out of it. But in any event, he threw a tantrum, threw some money at her. She left. Then he started beating on his car. That's literally what their scenario said. Aundrea and Lamar. Let me tell y'all, I cannot deal with Aundrea. It's not the fact, not just the fact that she's religious. It's the fact that she's dumb. She's sitting here trying to force this man to stay in Utah. And this is what irks me about her, is that she's like the stereotypical black woman. And I really don't like it. She's super religious. She's super religious. She's so religious. She can't even see that it's damaging her relationship. She's trying to force her religion on him, as well as make him into a man that he's clearly not, and make him into a different type of man other than what she chose. Then she steals his debit card and his ID to try to trap him there, knowing that he just got out of prison. It's like, why would you think that it is smart to steal some items of a man to force him to be somewhere when he literally just got out of prison? If he stays with her, I would be surprised. He seems like he genuinely cares, but he also said he's nearly at his breaking point because of the stuff that she does is crazy. Then she sits there and says that he can never leave her because he's addicted to her because of everything that he offers her. I think she's just delusional about what it is that she's actually doing. She's delusional about his perspective. Usually a lot of people are, especially religious people, but I don't like anything about Aundrea. Ultimately, she ended up giving him back his ID and debit card and he left. He said he's not staying in Utah, and she said that, well, she's not having a relationship unless they're in Utah because she's not living in LA, which I do understand. I do get that part of it. LA, the cost of living is high. It's very easy to be in the hood, and I do understand her saying that she didn't feel safe. However, you don't try to trap somebody and force somebody to be in a place that they don't want to be in, especially after they just got out of prison. He probably felt like she was putting him right back into prison, and rightfully so. Now I want to get into Megan, Michael, and Sarah. When the show actually came back on, it was on Michael and Sarah's part, because the last episode ended with Michael telling Sarah they needed to get a divorce. Now, I actually thought that he wasn't serious. I didn't seriously think that he was going to tell her that they need to get a divorce. I thought he would have said something like, we need to get a divorce if this is how you're going to continue to act. But he didn't. What he did is he told her he wanted to get a divorce, and he told her why. And if you look at the way that she was looking, she went into she switched back from her valley girl to her hood girl and said, I held you down while you was in prison. I didn't know that you was out with some other woman. I didn't know that you was, it's like, I can't deal with it. Like, I really can't deal with this whole, I'm dating the black man, so let me jump into hood booger. Like, I just, be who you are. That's what these women don't understand. If a black man is dating a white woman, it's because he wants a white woman. It's not because he wants a white woman that's going to act like a knockoff version of a black woman. So because she was acting like a knockoff version of a black woman, he had to go get him a real one, because she's over here acting like something that she can't be. Sarah can't be a black woman. I don't know why she didn't just be a white woman, which is what she is. It's her fakeness and her inauthenticity that's coming off. It's manifesting in their relationship. So Michael sat down and he told her everything about why he didn't want to be with her. He told her he loved Megan. He told Sarah that she doesn't understand him, that he only wanted to marry her because he felt like she would keep him away from his kids, which she was doing. The look on her face when he said he loved Megan was priceless, because Sarah has this thing that a lot of women within the dominant society have, specifically when they date men in our community, where they think that they are able to one up a black woman. If they have a black man, they'll feel like they've taken something from black women. They'll feel like they're better. And I think that from the time that she first found out that he was cheating on her with a black woman, it just went downhill from then. I think she hated it at that point. And you can tell because in the last half of the season, when it ended, when she found out about Megan, she was insulting her, calling her names, trying to talk about how she looked. She was just doing the most. And I feel like the minute that he said he loved Megan, to her face, I think something in her died. She tried to turn on the fake tears. It didn't work because she has no real emotion. I think she was just simply doing it to manipulate him. She sat up there and told him that she was his last chance for survival. So you can see how arrogant she was, where she had this savior complex, like she was taking some little boy out of the hood and saving him and making him become a man. And now her ego was crushed when he sat up there and said that he's just not into her like that. He doesn't want to be with her. He will co-parent with her, but he believes that they should get a divorce. Again, jumping in between the white woman and then the ghetto black girl is just annoying to me. But she sits up here and she cries and she asks him why did he get her pregnant and leave her, which I do believe that's the one part that I feel like he's trash for, because he knew that he didn't like Sarah. He was saying it before he got her pregnant. So if you knew you didn't want to be with her, if you knew that wasn't your queen, you should have never laid down with her, asked her if she was ovulating, and purposely obviously got her pregnant. But then Sarah got what was coming to her because Sarah laid down with him knowing that he was cheating, knowing that he wasn't trustworthy, knowing that he was in and out of jail, and she allowed him to impregnate her. So the stupidity is on both of them, but that's the only tiny part where she had even mildly an argument. And the more I go into this, she's losing that argument because she's been knew who Michael was. So Michael then decides he's going to go talk to Megan, and they portray it as if there's this whole big secret thing that he needs to tell her when it's really not. They do a good job of building suspense only for something small and meaningless, because what he went to tell her was so minute that I actually missed it while watching it. That's how meaningless it was. I missed what his point was while I was watching it. But he basically goes and tells her that he got a divorce. He's getting a divorce from Sarah, and he wants them to go back to the way things were. I still think Megan needs to work on her self-esteem. I think that he's always going to be a cheater. Literally, some woman called him while he was in the car. There's other people who he's talking to, and even if he's not talking to them now, he's bound to, because if he would cheat on Sarah, he would cheat on Megan. That's just the reality of it. She has to look at how she came into the situation. She came into it not knowing that he was married and hiding a relationship, but when she did find out that he was married and hiding a relationship, she still stuck in there and continued to be with a married man who had 2 children by a different woman. So Megan needs to check her self-esteem, but we will see how things turn out, if they'll be back for further episodes. I don't trust it, but just seeing Sarah get crushed like that was worth it for me, because Sarah does have an arrogant attitude. If you guys watched that show on WeTV before this season came out, they had like a review show where they had all the cast members sit around and review certain parts and watch the show and comment on it. And Sarah was just way too arrogant. She was sitting there talking about how she's been with Michael, how he chose her, how she knows how to ride it, all this other stuff. She had this very arrogant attitude, like she was untouchable. Anytime you can say that you're somebody's last chance for survival, you know for a fact that you are beyond arrogant. And so I'm glad Sarah's ego was crushed. But you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. And that wraps up the review of Life After Lockup Season 2.